We are going over the Saturday bowl slate here. Starting off 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 local time. Ralph, we'll start with you. Fresno State -3.5. They did tick up here. It was under 3. It was 3. Now it's 3.5. So the money moving this towards the Bulldogs. 52.5 being the total. This is the Jimmy Kimmel Los Angeles Bowl. What do you like between Fresno State and Washington State on Saturday?
Well, I'm going to start it by saying this. This is the best bet for my show, and this is one of the games that are likely going to make my card. I have not finalized it yet, so don't go stealing all the best numbers right now until I get that posted. But it's simple for me. To me, this isn't quite a big brother, little brother, but anytime Fresno State plays a Pac-12 team, it's motivation. They are excited to play that. Washington State, are you excited to play Fresno? Yeah, they win the Big 12. And then let's look. Fresno State lost to Oregon State by 3, loses to USC by 28, loses to UConn by 15, loses by 5, and loses to Boise by 20. But let's not forget, that's when Jake Haener got hurt. He got hurt against USC, and then they lost those other games with him not playing. This is a quarterback that I expect to get drafted in the first couple rounds. I actually am surprised he's playing. That's a pleasant surprise for me. You look on the Washington State side, and we know after they jettison their coach and they bring in the DC and they hire Dickert, they still have the same offense. Well, if you don't have 3 of your top 4 receivers, you don't have Stribling, you don't have Ollie, you don't have Bell. Those are guys that combined for 1,500 of the 3,162 yards. So that offense, the wide receiver and quarterback have to be on the same level. I'm on Fresno State. Like I said, best bet for the show, likely to make my card as a play.
Good stuff, Ralph. Great start to the breakdown here. LA Bowl, Robbie, what are you thinking as the Mountain West takes on the Pac-12 here?
Yeah, I don't want to disagree with what Ralph has on Fresno State. I don't have a stake in this game, but let me just point out, if you like the Washington State side, you may look at a couple of things. First off, you would look at the strength of schedule difference, which is humongous in favor of Washington State. As far as my power ratings are concerned, Washington State played an opposing schedule that was 14 points better on season average than was Fresno State's. That's big. Certainly the Mountain West didn't have a lot of quality teams. Certainly the Pac-12 did have a lot of quality teams. I went a little into the fundamentals here, Drew, and I kind of thought to myself, is Washington State comparable to Boise State, the very last opponent that Fresno played and defeated to win the Mountain West Conference Championship? On surface look, you would say yes. You would say they both play a spread offense. They both have solid defenses. I think the difference here, again, Washington State scheduled toughness against Boise's is better. And the Washington State defense overall playing that schedule, I think would be better than Boise. So let's look at how Boise did against Fresno State in 2 meetings this year. First time around, as Ralph mentioned, we don't have Jake Haener in that game. It's Logan Fife. In that game, Boise held this Fresno State offense to 233 total yards, 3.8 per play. Now the second time around, they did get Jake Haener. Boise did. And even though Fresno won the game and is in this bowl game, Fresno did nothing offensively. 245 total yards, only 4 yards per play. That's not a huge upgrade. Weather conditions weren't great, but Haener didn't bring a huge boost in offense the second time that Boise State saw that offense. I only bring that up because the last time we saw Washington State, they got absolutely cooked by Kalen DeBoer's Washington Husky offense, right? I mean, Washington went wild. Michael Penix Jr., they've got 485 passing yards. They've got 703 total yards. It's the only time this season Washington State gave up double digits per pass attempt. However, they're going to come back here and they're going to play that same Kalen DeBoer offense again. Remember, Kalen DeBoer left here at Fresno to go coach Washington, but all his principles were left behind, and all they really did was elevate their wide receivers coach, or elevate within the program, to offensive coordinator. So everything's the same. Question you have to ask yourself is, did Washington State learn anything? I think there's one significant difference, guys. Washington plays at a pedal to the metal type pace, and Fresno does not. Fresno's 91st, believe it or not, in seconds per play. They go very methodically, even though they run spread principles. It's the same exact offensive design. I think slowed down a little bit Washington State in their second look defensively, which has really been their calling card all season long, more defense than offense. I think they might be able to contain Fresno State a little bit here. We will see. Jake Dicker is going to be the play caller on defense here because Washington State has lost both coordinators, right? Brian Ward, the defensive guy, gone. Eric Morris, yesterday hired by North Texas, gone. So you're dealing with, an offense that will probably run itself only because Cam Ward knows Eric Morris's offense so well from Incarnate Word. If the motivation is there for Washington State, maybe they're good enough defensively to keep this close. I do think the motivation will be there for both. I think Jake Dicker obviously wants to win a bowl game with this team. Remember how far they've come since the Nick Rolovich COVID situation. I'm not on the game. It's played in really good conditions. We could see a lower scoring game than anticipated, guys. That's the strongest nod I would leave you with on this game is I do think maybe this thing stays under 53 points. Washington State has shown to be able to play a lot of defense most often this year, more often than not this year, and Fresno State the same thing. So I might take a small look at under, but I really don't have a play on this game.
And Robbie, for sure, the Washington State OC, he left for North Texas.
Yeah, Drew, I was trying to look that up this morning, and I couldn't get it definitive. North Texas does have a bowl game, and you would think that he would want to be present for that to take a look at the personnel, but I am not definitive that he's not going to be at this bowl game. I couldn't find, that in those certain words. If you read between the lines, it seems that way, but I couldn't find it in those certain words.
Yeah, see, it's to Ralph's point that he made at the top. I was doing research on this just like 2 days ago and reading an article about how he was going to stay at Washington State, and then sure enough, now he takes the job. So it's within 24 hours, we're getting huge changes here, guys. So the LA Bowl, but to your point, and I'd actually like to get Ralph's analysis on that, guys. Ralph, what do you think about the coordinator leaving? Not the just situation taking the North Texas job, but the offense. Robbie made a comment running itself. Is that how you would handicap it, or would you actually downgrade it a bunch when this happens?
Well, I think there's a big difference here. These guys started bowl prep a week ago. They've been practicing with him. So if he's not there, it's not as big of a deal as a January 1st bowl that you're leaving and you don't go through any prep. So I think that the team at least has the continuity of him having been there up until now, where it's less of an impact for a later bowl.
Interesting. Okay, guys, let's.
And Drew, let me step in real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because we never blanket statement anything, right? Each game is its own situation, but I just want to reiterate the point I made about Cam Ward, the quarterback for Washington State, being the quarterback for Eric Morris, the departed OC, for more than just this season. He came from Incarnate Word, where they set all kinds of records together and they fled together to Washington State. So that's why I thought it could run itself, because Cam Ward probably knows this offense inside and out. He's played under it for 2-3 years now. So I don't think it would be as big a deal for a team like this as it would be for maybe a quarterback who just learned the system this year.